500 horses of man and machine. They're full wide. Green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green. One race remains in the 2024 summer season. It's like the final week before school begins, and guess what? The final race of Monday Night Madness of the 2024 summer season heads down to Volusia. Time to party with the Gators for championship night. Tonight, we crown 3 new champions here on Monday Night Madness. When you look at the drops, when you put in the drops in effect, Isaac Salas up 40 points on Sam Bachman coming on in tonight. One more race for Chad Griggs to become the champion. Already pretty much has a clinch going into the Rebels coming up tonight. Then later on, we go to Renegades. Blake Chapman, Patrick Spangler separated by 70 points with third place Jesse Bandy, 76 back, on the leader, Blake Chapman. We're excited to see how this one comes down to the wire. Welcome to Monday Night Madness. We're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. McLaren fan Marty Sakala joined alongside Red Bull fan Zach Chapman. Had to have fun with them over the Dutch Grand Prix from last night. But championship night here, Zach. We head to Volusia. Oh boy, we are in for a couple of bangers this evening.
Yeah, I mean, this is always, arguably, well, I'll speak for both of us, one of our favorite tracks on the schedule. I mean, you get the high line, you get the low line, and, as this thing rubbers up here, you get that middle line, too. We're going to see good, hard racing, and if you're quick, no excuse. You can make it work on either side, so you got to figure it out tonight. It's championship night.
Well, drivers will be figuring it out in just a moment. Qualifying just about set to begin here at Volusia Speedway Park, and we'll get all your favorite drivers on the racetrack. Just about 20 drivers checking in for Monday Night Madness this evening. And we'll talk about the first driver here that makes his way on the speedway. B-Town Brandon Templeton in car number 31. Again, 2 minutes for the drivers here to qualify. And so lap number 1 underway for Brandon Templeton, that 31 machine. Logan Wentz also out there in the 118. We'll try and focus on him on lap number 2. Brandon Templeton will set the bar in the 118 at a 17:11. Here comes Logan Wentz on lap number 1 as he goes. Fourth quick, 17:16. But Michael Vitale, meanwhile, at the top of the charts at a 16:93. Harold Klump, meanwhile, quick time. Clay Christopherson moves up top at a 16:68. Brandon Templeton moves up to second quick on lap number 2. He's the quickest of anyone in sector number 2. But Christopherson in the FTM 51 looking for his first quick time of the season in the Open 358s. Second lap time at a 17 even. Brian Dickens with a better lap time on lap 2, 16:85. That is third quickest for the driver of the 122. Let's go to the Ant-Man. Anthony Morano comes off for turn number 4 for the final time in qualifying. Jason Butterfield, meanwhile, quickest of everyone in Sector 2, but is 16th quick. 16:85 on lap 2 for Anthony Morano. Final seconds of qualifying here as Kelly Wheeler gets set to take the checkered flag here. Bachman with a much improved lap at a 16:78 as Kelly Wheeler's second lap doesn't count. So Sam Bachman is third. Clay Christopherson, though, the quickest in qualifying with a 16:683. So as we look at this, we'll have 3 heats for you this evening. Trevor Giroux, Isaac Salas, Logan Wentz, the provisional pole sitters in 10th through 12th. So big there for Isaac Salas. When we come to the green flag for heat race number 2, he'll start on the front row. So we move on to get set to go for heat race number 1, which is brought to you by our friends at Gambler Motorsports, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. On pole position, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 75. Next to him, Harold Klump in the 00. Row number 2, Brian Dickens in the 122. And Clay Christopherson in the 51. Row number 3, Tyler Flood, he's in the 831. And Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Rounding out the grid, the Brood to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. A reminder to have the points look coming on in, and you can see it there on the right of your screen. Isaac Salas up 40 on Sam Bachman. The reason why we have the 25 there next to Salas, that's his worst finish of the season. So all he just has to do is make the feature pretty much, and his points will count towards the championship tonight here at Volusia. Nothing from Bachman next to him because this is his final race that counts for points, as he has already had 2 drops from 2 races that he has missed.
Yeah, anxious to see here. Marty in qualifying, a lot of guys improved on that second lap. It's because they went to the bottom in 3 and 4 and figured out there's a lot left on the bottom. It's going to be real interesting to see how heat race number 1 races here if we have a top groove yet in 3 and 4.
A lot of different things being tested out here as we get set to go green for the 6-lap heat. The winner starts on the pole for the 30-lap feature. Giroux and Klump bring us to the green flag. We're underway. So the Philly Flyer able to clear Harold Klump in turn number 2 with the early race lead. Everybody makes the show regardless, as we had a car count of under 25. Lap number 1 led by last week's color commentator Trevor Giroux. Christopherson second. The battle for third's on, though, between Dickens and Klump, Zach.
Yeah, it is, and Klump with a big counter back on the high side there coming out of 2. He's got the preferred line right now. You see the leaders, though. They go to the bottom in 1 and 2. Trevor's going to float up. That opens the door for Clay. We got a side-by-side battle going into 1.
Clay Christopherson for the race lead. Downstairs on Trevor Giroux. The Philly Flyer gives him the lane, and Clay Christopherson with a 16:76 last lap goes from 4th to 1st, and he's at the point. Giroux tries to look for an opening, but we know Christopherson going to protect.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. We know they invert the field here. So those guys 3rd and 4th, they didn't qualify, or start in 1st and 2nd. They didn't qualify that well. They may not have known about that bottom in 3 and 4, and I talked about it, and Clay Christopherson, man, he used it to perfection.
2 to go here in heat race number 1. Also have a good race for third still between Klump and Dickens off at turn number 2. Brand new paint job on that 00. Keeps it underneath. Dickens decides to test the top and see if the cushions come in handy, though. We're on the final lap. It's still Christopherson and Giroux for the win.
Giroux all over that rear end of the 051, but man, Dickens made a mistake here. Butters looking for that fourth and final transfer spot. I guess everyone makes the show, but big move by Butters.
Christopherson wins the heat, third at the line to clump. Butterfield edges out Brian Dickens by 0.02 of a second. Christopherson, though, putt-putt the Heat 1 winner. So now move on to heat race number 2, which is brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. And here's the starting lineup. Isaac Salas, slide job on pole position in the 5. Next to him, Michael Vitale in the 213. Row number 2, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. And B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 3, Randall Dixon in the 11. And Bobby Good in car number 7. Rounding out the grid, Rick Main in the 187.
Yeah, early birthday present for the 32 of Anthony Morano, as I believe Isaac Salas has a heat EOL this evening, so he's going to have to come from the rear here, Marty.
Well, we all know Salas. He is always fast in that Super Dirt Car Series number 5 ride. Hey, I forgot to ask you about Trevor Giroux, by the way, Zach. What'd you think of his commentary work last week?
I mean, the kid's great. He's obviously a natural in the booth just as well as he is on the track. And, I mean, hopefully Trevor doesn't want my job anytime soon, but he definitely did a great job.
Winner starts outside of the front row. Steve King Foundation pace car is in on this beautiful sunset. Green flag is out for Heat 2. And Anthony Morano
blinked.
Yeah, did not get going. He's neck-coated with the 011 of Randall Dixon. Bob DeGood fell back badly because of it. We got a battle for the lead here. Brandon Templeton, who's already won 2 championships this season in the summer. The Midgets and the Pro Late Models champion. Looking for that lead on the jokester, Michael Vitale.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Michael there in the 213. He's going to run where he feels comfortable, but, man, there's still a lot left on the bottom, and that 31's showing it. He's coming quick, and, too close to call up the line, but I think he's going to get him this time.
By a hair. I don't know who you could give it to, but got to be aware of that number 5. Isaac Salas, quickest driver on track with a 16.76. Has to hope the top 2 keep racing each other neck and tooth if he and even Morano want to close in as we're halfway home.
Yeah, as right now, Vitale's flirting well enough on that high side. This is going to be the first corner where Brandon can really float up. That has been slowing him down. But Anthony, after that early mistake, I know he feels a little guilt. I doubt he goes up there and runs these guys too hard.
2 laps to go here. Brandon just had his best lap at a 16.77. Isaac off by a 10th the last time by. Now the best battle for second appears to be Vitale and Morano going to work as they're on board with the jokester from his rear end. 1 lap to go, Zach.
Yeah, final time around, and Morano's going to send it in on the bottom in 1 and 2. He gets a real good run off of the middle here, and we might have a battle for second if the 213 doesn't go down and shut the door, and he leaves it open.
Well, you know who's going to win this heat? It's Brandon Templeton. For second at the line, give it to Vitale by a bumper on Morano. Salas 4th, Dixon 5th, Main in 6th, Andy Good 7th. But it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton, your Heat 2 winner. One more heat to go. Heat 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. The starting lineup looks like this. Logan Wentz on the pole in the 118. Next to him, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 2, slide job Scott Riom in the 444. And Sam Bachman next to him in the 107. Row number 3, the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. And Bud Molyneux's in the 883. Rounding out the grid tonight, it's Kelly Wheeler. Kelly in the 110. Appreciate you joining us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat tonight. And as always, we thank you so much for joining us on Monday nights, the most popular night on Coast to Coast action. A lot of cool stuff happening this week on Championship night that we are absolutely looking forward to, Zach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got 3 of them locked up so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the Brandon show, 2 for Templeton and 1 for Dittmer there. So got a lot more to crown, but hats off for those guys getting an early start.
All right, here we come for the green flag. Winner starts the inside of row number 2. Here we go. Side by side in the corner of the full throttle, teammates Logan Wentz and Dean Reynolds. Look at Sam Bachman, though. How about this FTM show? Top 4 all teammates, but Steve Bixler wants to spoil the party. Looked underneath Bachman for 4th, but Bachman a great corner exit as lap 1 led by Wentz. Here comes Rayon for the lead, Zach.
Yeah, you know, Thursday night in the feature at Williams Grove.
Whoa!
Oh, they made contact!
Oh,
No!
Dino with a heavy impact.
Oh, man, and well, 2 out of the 4 gone just like that. That's tough. I mean,
look who's up to second. Kelly Wheeler takes huge advantage of this.
yeah, and you know, that's what you got to do. He's got to take advantage of Scott here, or excuse me, yeah, Scott. I mean, that little hiccup, it just takes a while to get back in your rhythm, and he gave up the bottom. You got to strike, but big contact behind him. Bixler goes around, and Molyneux.
We'll watch that in just a moment. The replay with Bachman and Reynolds, just the slightest of contact. Oh, man, that's a heavy impact. Rayom also got a piece of that as well. Here's what happened between Bixler and Molyneux that we missed while we were under the Malcolm's Mills replay. Oh, man. Molyneux took a ride. Almost got into that.
Now Bixler's trying to get in the pits here as the white flag's flying. Coming around one more time to go here. Battle has not cooled down, though, for P2, Marty. These guys are still going at it.
Kelly Wheeler, who had a horrible qualifying run, didn't even get a lap time responsible, now looks for second, trying to start 6th tonight. If it's 3rd, he starts 9th. Checkers wave. Logan Wentz wins the final heat. Rayom 2nd, Wheeler 3rd, Bachman across the line in the 4th spot, Bixler 5th, Molyneux 6th, and Reynolds 7th. So it's Logan Wentz, that's your Heat 3 winner, as full throttle meeting, having a team meeting during the warm-up to make sure that they don't turn into the Alpine F1 team. Kidding. We're going to step aside here and go to break in just a minute. When we come back, our first feature of the night on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stay with us.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Open 358 Dirt Modifieds on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Regency Home Inspections. Now let's go racing.
Just about halfway through the warm-ups here in Volusia. Right now, 16 drivers have taken time. At the moment, Brian Dickens is currently the quickest man on the track at a 16.82, followed by Brandon Templeton at a 16.83. Our 2 championship contenders here are going to start mid-pack to the back of the field. Going to be very interesting coming up here in this feature, Zach.
Yeah, and you know, we just saw that accident happen there in heat race number 3. That put 2 FTM boys to the back, Dino included, and I mean, he is good here at Volusia. You cannot count out that 79, so we're going to have a lot of good cars in the back of the field. There's going to be excitement all over the track tonight, Marty.
Let's get a camera back on here. There's Dean Reynolds, 7th quickest That number 79, 1694, Racing Anthony Morano. Just get a good idea of how both grooves are turning out. Number Open 358's the Open Modified division that a lot of drivers love. I believe the second season, if not third, we've implemented Open small blocks on a Monday night. As Dino's the quickest driver now on track with a 16.816 for that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't kidding. That guy, I mean, we've talked about him a lot, Marty. He has figured it out over these last couple seasons. And Dino, he's really becoming one of the top-tier drivers here in Coast to Coast. You are going to have to keep an eye on that 79.
Definitely makes Megan excited in the chat, that's for sure. Hello, Megan. We're ready to go for our first feature of the night. Let's see how they look in the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole is Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson in the 051. Next to him, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 2, Logan Wentz in the 118. And the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 75. Row number 3, the Jokester, Michael Vitale in the 213. And Slide Job Scott Rayome in the 444. Row 4, Harold Klump in the 00. And the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Rounding out the top 10, Kelly Wheeler in the 110. And Butters, Jason Butterfield at the 93. Got to meet with him Friday night at Brewerton. Row number 6, Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Sam Bachman in the 107. Row number 7, Brian Dickens in the 122, and Randall Dixon in the 011. Row 8, the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75, and Tyler Flynn in the 831. Rest of the grid tonight for this 21-car feature. Row 9, Rick May in the 187, and Bud Molyneux in the 883. Row 10, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Bob DeGood in the 7. And Dean Reynolds rounds out the field tonight in car number 79. So the fastest man in warm-up's going to have to come from the back to the front if he wants to take the feature here tonight. As we move on to our predictions on who we think's going to win this feature, Zach, we'll start with you. Who you got?
Oh, man, it's been a while. I think that 31, Brandon Templeton, he's going to get it done tonight.
My pick to win, give me Logan Wentz from third. He is due up, that's for sure. Alrighty. We'll go one more lap here before we take the green here at Fallujah. Drivers making sure the tires don't seal over early as well. Trying to get some dirt up on the chocolate chips, try and get some grip.
How many laps before that 5 car is up in the top 5, Marty? Over under here. 15.
Ooh, you go 15? Give me under.
I think so, too. That's a good bet.
Time for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. Steve King Foundation pace car set to pull into pit road. It is time to shake and bake for the first time tonight at Fallujah. Brandon Templeton, Clay Christopherson set up to bring us to green. It's time to get it on. Side by side, off the corner, Christopherson and Templeton stay wheel to wheel. The 51 with the slight advantage. Templeton, though, on the gas first. Lap 1, though, led by Christopherson in the 51, Zach.
Yeah, best restart of the year here. I mean, both lines got off even as Trevor Giroux ducked it in the middle 3 wide, but Brandon Templeton with a big head of steam coming off the corner. He's going to have to settle for P2 right now, but, man, these guys are racing hard all over the track.
The high side may be the place to be when we get later on into this feature. As man, he is staying right there on that right front sneaker of Christopherson. It looked like Putt Putt may have flipped the jersey barrier, but I don't think he did. The top 4 stay side by side, just like they did for the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, it looks like they borrowed Kurt Schatzer's hay pier as Superman didn't show up tonight. They are flying on the high side. You said it, Marty. That 31 almost able to clear now. That high side's the place to be right now.
We'll have to see if Templeton can take the lead at the start-finish line off for 4. He can. Beat up the new leader on lap 5. But Christopherson throws it with a slide job. They touch. Templeton counters it back. Christopherson goes wide. 3 wide for the second position. This allows Beat-Up to maybe open up a gap.
That's exactly what you got to do if you're the 31, because Logan Wentz, I mean, he's taking that. Oh, Clay shut the door there on his teammate. Logan had to get on the binders. Now the Philly Flyer, look, he's fighting back on the high side.
Trying to go for that podium spot, the 075. Scott Rayome following him, same with Anthony Morano. The Ant-Man, though, gets to the back of his teammate for just a slight moment. Winds up on the bottom step of the podium in third. Brandon Templeton, the quickest lap of this race right now, at a 17 even on lap 7. He's opened up the gap to a half second.
He's doing what he needs to do. He doesn't need to drive that thing right against the rim and let that right rear tire eat. He's saving tire, running that middle, and Brandon is fast and smooth right now.
Nearly 4 wide in the back of the pack. It got really tight. We had to focus on that, that's for sure. As we focus on the front of the field, Morano peeks underneath his teammate Scott Rayome for position. That won't work. Isaac Salas up 4 spots. He's in the 7th position. 6 laps away from maybe cracking the top 5. We'll have to see, Zach.
Yeah, and he's about to get a run here. Well, Trevor saved it there, but him and Scott Rayome touched. Trevor had to fall back. He lost the spot, but man, now he's coming up in the depths of Isaac here.
There was some near neck code between Scott Rayome and Logan Wines. Rayome's liking that second groove at the moment. Off of turn 2, I think you want to be on the bottom, though, here, Zach.
Yeah, you know, it looks like in 3 and 4, the ideal line is that slider line, if you could slide up and get to the wall. But I agree with you. There's a little more grip on the bottom through 3 and 4 than there is in 1 and 2. But I don't know, right now they got to get in line or they're going to let that 31 walk away because he's fast.
We show you the 5-lap average for the first time tonight. Brandon Templeton, the quickest, as well as Isaac Salas as we work lap number 12. Templeton and Christopherson have been the only 2 leaders so far in this race. Scott Rayome, let's see here, different line. Scotty looks to throw it in. Off of turn 4, can Christopherson hang on at the line? It's a good battle on the racetrack here, Zach. Rayome, slide job, Scotty throws it in and takes the 2 spot.
Yeah, and notice how the 051 didn't really throw a big counter there. It's a case of, hey, man, my teammate's a little faster than me right now. Let's just let him go do his work. Maybe I can learn something, and if he goes up there and battles the 31, well then, hey, he's right back there in the picture.
Remember, we call this place at Fallujah. If you've never watched a coast-to-coast broadcast before, we call this racetrack Slide Job City. You'll see why later on tonight in the sprints. They'll do a lot more of that than the modifies, but it's very easy to pull off a slide job here down south in Florida. Next time by, we're halfway home, 15 up and 15 down, and Scott Rayome has caught the 31 of Templeton. Let's show you the 5-lap average once again. Rayome, the quickest driver on the racetrack.
Yeah, and notice the 51's almost come right along with him. He did exactly what I said. You drop in line behind that guy that's faster, just learn. I mean, you're not going to win the race on lap 14. Let him go by, figure out where you were slow, and get to work. And now, look, we got 3 cars in the picture.
Here's a better idea of the 5-lap delta. Rayome looked, but that didn't work. He may have shown Christopherson something as the teammates are door-to-door for second. And Christopherson, I don't think he had second in the line. My timing had it as Rayome.
Yeah, so did mine. But, man, Clay, definitely that was a case of, man, he learned something, and now he's going to try to go to work on his master here. And, well, they've got their master behind him, arguably the best driver for FTM, Anthony Morano. Here he is, 4-car battle for the lead here, Marty. 4th
full throttle drivers as well, chasing after a hammer-down driver in Brandon Templeton. Morano underneath for the bottom step of the podium. Can the defending champion take it away? Yes, he can. Here comes Rayome for the race lead. Next time by, Zach, 10 laps remain.
Yeah, you know, those guys in the top 4, they sense they're running out of time, and you're seeing Brandon. He's going up top. He's looking for all that speed coming off the corner. He's really trying to protect that high side. But, man, that 32 is figuring something out on that bottom, that Blake Chapman line here, Marty.
He likes the bottom line at these longer tracks like Fallujah, like Williams Grove. Only thing is you cannot crack the Jersey barrier, that's for sure, or else you're done without question. We were nearly 3 wide for the race lead as Rayome stays on the door panel of Brandon Templeton, nearly crowds him off the track with 9 to go.
Yeah, you know, he compromised his corner entry there. He chopped his teammate in the 32, really compromised Anthony as well, and big benefit to that 31 is he was on the high side 3 wide. Now he's got it all to himself.
8 laps remain. Scott Rayom, nice exit off for turn number 2. Both the full throttle drivers with good exits off the corner. Templeton still able to clear the 32 and the 4. 7 laps remain. Morano up to second. Contact with Rayom, and the Ant-Man looks for the lead.
Yeah, he got chopped off enough. He's like, hey, man, we're teammates. I'm quick. Let me go. And I think the 4 here, he got the hint. He's going to fall in line there and just maybe let Anthony go by and try to follow him. There he goes looking on the bottom.
Side by side of the turn number 1. Again, full throttle drivers against a hammer down driver. It's like a 2-on-1 handicap match in the WWE universe. Side by side for the lead. 5 fingers in the air from Bernie. 5 to go. You've got a new leader. It's Anthony Morano.
That really struggles you if you're the 31. You're like, man, I got a good run off the corner, but there's just so much grip on the bottom right now. He's going to have to lick his paws here, let the 32 get in front of him, and try to take it back on the bottom with a big counter.
Great bite off at turn number 4. Morano not able to clear Templeton just yet. And the Ant-Man trying to turn on the afterburners and run away with it. Here's a crazy fact. The defending series champion has yet to win this season. He's 3 laps away from doing so, Zach.
Well, he knows he may fall short of a championship here this year, but definitely wants to end the season on a good note. And that 32, he's got a rocket ship under him. And best thing, looking up in the mirror, he sees his teammate battling Brandon now, so he's got to go here. We've done 28 laps, Marty, all green flag.
Oh, man, I was hoping you were not going to say that. We're coming to the white flag next time by as Rayom and Templeton are side by side for second. PSG, white flag waves. We're on the final lap. This will be a caution-free feature. Anthony Morano remains out in front. In the Full Throttle Motorsports, number 32, Brandon Templeton's run out of fuel from the looks of it. Coming through 3 and 4, the Ant-Man defending champ, Anthony Morano, checkered flag. He wins at Fallujah. Rayom second, Christopherson third, Wentz fourth, Salas in fifth at the end. Brandon Templeton 11th as he limped across the line. Oh man, what a heartbreak for B-Temp. That's why he had to keep it up. He was trying to keep it on the bottom, but unfortunately it just did not work out in the end. We have a full throttle 1, 2, 3, 4 finish. Put Wentz on that podium for crying out loud. That is a team win for sure, ladies and gentlemen. And Isaac Salas with a 5th place finish. He will win the Open 358 championship this season.
Hats off to Dino getting 11 guys there too, coming up to 10th. Man, all under the green flag. So he had to work for that one. Good run for Dino.
So get the final tally here in just a moment. Patrick Spangler is going to work to update that as quick as he can. But Isaac Salas, another modified championship to his mantelpiece that he can put right next to his Matt Shepard diecast and sheet metal. We will talk with your champions as well once we finish talking to your top 3. Let's bring up the official results. I don't believe we did that just yet. As there you go. There's your top 10 on your screen. Dean Reynolds, our biggest mover up. Brandon Templeton. Our live time, it has Templeton 11th, but here he is actually scored in the 9th position. Regardless, though, Dino, your biggest mover, as he finishes in the 10th position in the end. As you look at 11th through 20th as well. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, iRacing official, you're right there. It's got him at 9th. So my SDK was a little messed up too, but iRacing has him in 9th. And man, I would love to. He barely beat out Dean Reynolds to the start-finish line too. Apparently,
may have to watch a replay of that. So, but anyway, let's get to the top 3 here. We'll talk with your 3rd place finisher, Clay Christopherson. Clay, great car early on. But just faded back in the end. How'd you feel your car was in the long run tonight?
She was pretty clunky. It kept getting upset. I entered good and it wouldn't grip up when I wanted it to, so it would get a little squirrely. I had to fix it, and I towards the end I kind of managed to keep it up on the bars on the top. I wasn't comfortable up there, but it obviously worked. So
That slide job at the end, man, we just saw you barely edge Logan Wentz at the line at the end. That slide job on Templeton to go try and keep the lead, was that your best chance pretty much of hanging on for a better chance of the win or not really?
yeah, it was to throw it in there. I thought he was a little higher up on the track, so I didn't know he was going to be right there that quick. But no, I made sure to throw it in hard enough where he could react. But like I said, I didn't know he was running that much lower in the middle, so that was my bad on that part.
Well, regardless, though, a great run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the guys at FTM, the top three should be a pretty cool photo for us. And you guys for putting on the broadcast and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block sets.
We appreciate it, man. Great job tonight, and best of luck rest of the night, or if not, best of luck. We'll talk to you in a few weeks.
Sounds good. I'll be in the sprints.
Awesome. Good to hear. So, Clint Christopherson, your third place finisher. Let's go to Scott Riom, our second place finisher. Slide job, Scotty, with a great car tonight. Scott, how'd you feel about it throughout the night?
Hang on one second, Marty. I'm still sweeping up this FTM sweep here with this broom. No,
How much you sweeping up of it?
just the three of us, me, Clay, and Anthony.
Don't forget
No,
about
it's
Logan.
just- Oh yeah, I forgot about Logan. How can I forget about Logan? He was yelling at Clay for going around on the outside.
Yeah, you should make
No.
him. He finished fourth. Make him carry the broom.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding, guys. But the car was really, really good. I felt terrible in the heat race. I just barely scraped the inside wall, and when I got back in the gas, the car kicked out on me. I came up the track a little bit and got into Sam. I definitely didn't want that to happen, but couldn't do anything about it. He understood. But the car was really good. I think if I could have got around Templeton sooner. I might have been able to run away and hide on Anthony, but just couldn't complete the pass. I was even in Discord like, how do I get around this guy? But car was good.
Who do you
Then,
want to give shout outs to?
Well, I got to give a shout out to DJ. Mostly, he convinced me to buy a new monitor, and I hooked that up today. So I owe a lot to the monitor. Fiance Heather for the computer. All the guys over at FTM, Dean, Super Dirt Car, DJ for all the help today, and DJ Sim Shop. You guys for doing the broadcast. Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race. God, I'm forgetting so many people. Swan, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop for this open set. It's what I ran, one of his. So I think that's it.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on a second place finish, and best of luck on Thursday, too.
If I can make it, I'll be there if I can make it.
All
We
right,
got a lot to
sounds
do on
good.
the car. Double features this week.
Yeah, double features. Yeah, 5% chance of rain, Scotty, and we get all 5 of it. What the hell?
Yeah, one of the guys on the crew they were grabbing the tent. I'm like, we don't need that. My bones don't hurt. So the next day I texted him like, man, my bones are killing me today. It's probably gonna rain. So
Great job
Yeah.
tonight.
thanks, guys.
Scott Rayome finishing in second. Let's go to your winner, Anthony Morano in the 32. The Ant-Man gets it done in the final few laps. We're going to let Zach take this one.
Hey, Anthony, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Well, this has been a long time coming in the season this year. Points necessarily didn't go your way as it did last season, but how good does it feel to end on a win, man? And you had to work for this one.
Yeah, it was definitely a workout. I missed a bunch of Monday night races, so I was more rooting for Sam to take this one. But Isaac ran a good season. I think he got 5 wins or something like that this in the open setup. So hats off to him. Ran a great year. But this one had to really work for it. Just ride the bottom and let everyone run the top, and then Templeton ran out of fuel there. Kind of threw us, I think, everybody off that was on the track there. I wasn't expecting anyone to run out, but I know 5 gallons was awfully close. You need at least 6.
Well, you talked about that bottom. I mean, were you a little surprised? You were following around your teammate there, Scott, on the bottom, and then when he got to the back of the 31, it just seemed like he got a little frustrated on the bottom. Were you surprised that he opened the door for you to go around?
I think he was run. I think it was a little bit of a difference in what gear we were running there too. I think he was running a little bit of a lower gear, so I think the top was better off for him. But I was actually struggling on the bottom to about halfway, and just started being a little more ginger on the throttle, and was able to really launch coming out on both ends. So I think that was the main thing there. Otherwise, I don't think I would have got around Scott or Brandon, but it worked out. Just being patient, rolling around the bottom.
Yeah, you and all the best guys preach about patience and running the bottom, and it seems to work. You did a great job here, Anthony. Able to cap the season ender with a win here. Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
I gotta thank my wife Sherry, boys at FTM, Dean at Super Dare Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop for the wrap, Swan Speed Shop for the setups, MDI TV, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone. Y'all for doing the broadcast and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Congratulations, man, and good luck for your championship run there on Thursday night, brother.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna need it. A long way to go on that one.
Anthony Morano winning tonight, but we get to the man of the hour, Isaac Salas, with another modified championship that, if he heard me correctly, I'll say it to him once again, can add a trophy to his mantelpiece next to Matt Shepard's door panel and diecast. But, buddy, well done. How's this feel?
Yeah, man, this is a pretty awesome one, and to try and we're basically going off of not a team setup like all those FTM guys had over there, and just kind of throwing one together most nights. So that makes it feel a little bit even better, just because I love all those guys, and to have an awesome season, an awesome race. It was good to see that I can halfway hold up with them.
Well, one of the first people you really need to thank is your boss for making sure that you were not working on Monday nights, because you are a busy man. Normally, we haven't been seeing you on Monday nights in the past, but this year you've been able to join us for modifieds and even Rebels action.
Yeah, I won't even lie to you guys. I've been leaving the house at like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, so I can get back here in time to run the series. And then once I started doing really good, I was like, man, now I got to commit to it. So, but yeah, I mean, some good fortune at work, some good fortune in the races and stuff like that. It's been a pretty awesome season.
What will you remember the most about this one?
Oh man, I think that Port Royal race, that open setup Port Royal race reminded me exactly of Shepard and Dewey going at it at Port Royal, and how just, I mean, we were clean, and it was just an amazing race, and it was kind of the capstone of, I thought, was the championship chances. There was really cementing that momentum coming into Volusia. And I mean, a little bit of a rough go for having that EOL, but coming out with P5 and a solid finish right in front of Sam, that was all the momentum I needed.
Who you want to give shout outs to on this main run tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to Venom Racing, man. It was fun to get to hang out with the guys. Been getting more involved in a lot more iRacing stuff. I know a lot of people have seen that Trevor tried to go for the spring fling. We're trying to branch out a little bit, so it's been a lot of fun to hang out with those guys even more than we normally have been able to. So that's been awesome with them. Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, crazy support, and I've seen so many amazing things because of them. Magnum Race Designs, Tommy Gun Customs, RSN Trackside with you, sir. It's been a pleasure. Mission 22, everything they do for the league, everything they do for our veterans, man. My Gramps and top notch trucking. Watches, it feels like every race I'm ever in. Thank you guys for the broadcast, man. Thanks Shaggy for coming on board, getting that logo to me. I'll make sure she's on before next season.
As long as you're winning championships, that's good enough. Great job.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And then other than that, thanks to all my friends and family that love my sports, like my sim race, and big thanks to Kelser. It was her birthday yesterday, so we went on a trip, and she made it. She got up early with me so we could get back to Minot, so I could come win this championship. So pretty cool.
Well, happy birthday to Kelsey. Congratulations on the win, man, and best of luck in Renegades. But enjoy this modified championship.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
So Isaac Salas gets it done this evening. We are going to step aside, take our first break of the night. When we come back, the Rebels take on Volusia on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here, was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here at Fallujah Speedway Park as we get set to go for Rebels action. And we are looking forward to this one, that's for sure. There's a look at the champ, Chad Griggs, at the 27. He'll be officially your champion when the night ends, but he's got a big lead in the points over guys like Roger Craig and Gavin Chatham, where he wouldn't even have to show up today if he didn't want to, and he would pretty much be your champion at the end of the night. So we welcome you back into our booth. Marty Sakala with you alongside Zach Chapman. Great car count for the Rebels here. Sounds like we've got 25 drivers with us tonight, but these Rebels, I tell you, this season, they have had good shows regardless.
Yeah, you know, I noticed one of those guys that signed up to is Dino, and I think he's an A driver, so that was probably an accident. So we may only have 24 guys, but man, it's still going to be a heck of a show. And as we saw at the end of that open 358 there, we're going to have both lines. So you set up your car however you feel. You just gotta drive it where the car feels good.
And we are going to see a bunch of slide jobs, that's for sure as well. And so we'll get set with qualifying. First driver we'll watch, the driver of the 888, Steve Maurer, back with us. Normally likes to run the big tracks. Fallujah, I guess you consider one of those big tracks as well. So glad to see Steve out here with us tonight. Chad Cote checking in, says, let's go, Salas. Congrats, kid. The Goose Game set later on tonight, I believe, in just a moment, if not for Renegades. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he a Renegades driver? I can't remember. But anyway, Steve Maurer will set the bar on the 888. Lap number 1 goes 14:36. Next driver we will watch, the driver of the 558. Quick time for him. Brian Moore Jr. on lap 1 goes 14:10. Preston Cranmer answers back with a 14:07.
Big lap for that 77. Good speed out of Preston.
Chad Griggs up to second quick on lap number 2. He's at a 14:069. 3 thousandths off the pace here. Connor Ross, though, 6th quick on lap 2. He was the quickest of anyone in sector number 2. Second lap times coming in from everybody. Chad Griggs able to improve, but off the pace. J.J. Odell tied with Preston Cranmer. Connor Ross, meanwhile, across the lines off at 14:32. So Preston Cranmer and J.J. Odell each have the exact same lap time. Cranmer would get it first. Here's Zach Neubauer looking for a better lap time. It's a 14:303, so it is better. Final seconds here of qualifying. And off the corner for the Goose, this is a slower lap, 14:27 on lap number 2. But it's the Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, that gets things done at a 14:07. So because of this, Zach Neubauer, Trent Verstraeten, and Greg Parmalee, Corey Denson unofficially would be your drivers in the on the pole for each heat. We will have a B main that is full of fun, extra practice for the heck of it. So we get set for Heat 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's how the lineup looks. Neubauer on pole, as we mentioned, the 52. Next to him, Rick Main in the 187. Run number 2, Lucky Tyler Luce in the 003. To his outside, the Outlaw, Preston Cranmer in the 77. Run number 3, Chris Schaefer in the 23. And the Bass Man, Roger Craig in the 747. Rounding out the grid, it says Dean Reynolds, but he's a Renegades driver. Didn't hit the watch button. He hit the register button by mistake.
Yeah, and that 003, Marty, I've got to interview him on Hometown Heroes nights. That last name, it's Lucy.
Lucy.
It caught me by surprise too. So I like to use Hello or I Love Lucy references whenever he goes to the high side.
That wouldn't be bad either. So everyone will make the show. The bottom 2 will be in a B main for fun. That is considered extra practice.
Anxious to keep an eye on that 77 here, Preston Cramner. He's only run 5 races this season, but 3 top 5, so he's got speed when he shows.
Well, the winner starts on pole for tonight's feature. Cranmer starts 4th in Heat 1. I will see if he can grab it as we're underway. Rick Mayne around the outside of Zach Neubauer goes through and takes the race lead early in this one. Good battle for third as Lucy and Preston Cranmer go to work near contact. There is contact. Preston Cranmer yeeted him out of the way, and Chris Schaefer had to get on the binders or else he would have gone around badly.
Yeah, it looked like Zach Neubauer sent it up in and kind of shut the door on Lucy, and Lucy had to check up. Preston couldn't react in time, and you said it, just kind of punted him out of the way. But, man, can't really put that on the 77. That's a tough racing deal.
Sounds like some netcode issues possibly on the 003. But we continue on here as Neubauer still leads Cranmer for second by 3/10 of a second. But how about Rick Mayne, this 187? He's got the speed of possibly being a Renegades driver next season. A 14.3 that last lap, by the way, Zach.
Yeah, you know, we've watched him and the points leader, Chad Griggs, go at it time in and time out. And Rick hasn't gotten the best of him the majority of the times, but, man, Rick has some speed, and he's going to make Chad work for a win here tonight as he's got a quick car.
2 laps to go this time by here in heat race number 1. We continue to watch this battle for the second position as Lucy has reeled in Preston Cranmer, looking for options to try and grab that 3rd position away. Again, top 4 would all go directly to the feature. Final lap, meanwhile, underway for Rick Mayne in that Inferno Motorsports High Noon 187. As he makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. Rick Mayne, your pole sitter for the Rebels feature tonight. 2nd is Zach Neubauer. 3rd, Preston Cranmer. 4th is Lucy. 5th, Craig. And 6th is Schaefer. So now move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. And here's the starting lineup. Trent Verstraeten on pole position in the 88 to his outside at slide job. Isaac Salas in the number 5. Row number 2, Steve Maurer in the 88. And to his outside, the jet plane, J.J. Odell in the 38. Row 3, Jonathan Dolly in the 74. That's Gary Offa in the 94. And we did see Cale Nisley earlier on in practice, but he has withdrawn from action. We just got the call to fire the engines, and so we will go green flag racing next time by, Zach.
Yeah, we will. And, you know, you touched on it earlier, I believe, but these guys, I think, will end up having to run a B main, but everybody will go out of it with Cale Nisley being a no-show. So they're going to get a, you know, if you don't make it in the top 4 here, Marty, it's not the end of the world. You're going to get an extra practice session to go work on that car.
Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'll give you a shout-out live and on the air. Chat's been very quiet tonight. A lot of people are focused on this championship race, I think.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are focused on winning this thing because they saw the speed Rick had. It's time to go.
Winner starts outside of row number 1. Green flag is out.
Man, that was a good jump for Steve Maurer there, but he just wasn't able to hook it up on the bottom of 1 and 2, and now he's sinking like a stone. Seems like the high side's where you want to be.
Maurer battling Odell for the 3rd position as Verstraeten. Oh, look! Holy crap! Gary Offutt with the ride of his life. Oh,
I didn't realize he was wearing his
goodness.
astronaut costume here.
As Isaac Salas. Whoa, wait a second. Jeez. They're giving me heart attacks out here. Shouldn't be saying that right now live, but Isaac Salas, meanwhile, is taking the lead away from J.J. Odell. In a 3-car battle for the top spot. The jet plane trying to fight back, Zach.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed. Isaac went a little over the hill there in 1 and 2, and that may work later on, but there's just too much grip in the middle. Can't float up that eye. He's going to go for a big send here. His old slide job.
Slide job. Salas. And Odell read that really, really well.
Yes, he did. And, you know, that's how you do it. You see him get on the binders and go back underneath. I'm sick of people running into people in these slide jobs. Slide jobs are a part of racing, and JJ just showed you how you handle it.
But Salas has a chance to go for the slide job in turn number 3. That's the case. Here they come to the line. 2 laps to go. Salas out in front. And he's got JJ Odell clear at the moment. Now, if you're Salas, is this a chance for you maybe play defense? Well, you can't really now because Odell back to the inside for the race lead.
No, you know, he's got to do what Isaac just did there. Back that corner up, try to drive under. But, man, JJ, it's almost like he's toying with him. The jet plane has some speed. Oh, he's going to go around the top shelf.
Oh, man, they nearly touched. But Salas has the bottom at 3 and 4. Odell tries to crowd him. Salas goes up way too much. Oh, it's way too close to call. I think it was Salas, though, by 300ths.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Isaac by 12 thousandths of a second. What a race.
That, my friends, is what you call a heat race for sure. We now move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's how they line up. Greg Parmalee on pole position. He's in the 4 to his outside. Tyler Flynn in the 831. Row number 2, Canada Connor Ross, the 35, and Chad Griggs in the 27. Final row tonight, Cale Bixler back with us in the 789, and Clay Christopherson rounds out the grid in the 51.
Yeah, Cale Bixler finally back in the United States, man. He's been showing up for some hometown heroes, and every now and then he's been running some retreads. So good to have Cale back. It's awesome.
So winner tonight inside of row number 2 for tonight's feature. And everyone moves on to the feature. Bottom 2 drivers, though, I believe, will have to go down to the B main.
Green flag,
Set for the green here for Heat 3. Green lights are on. Good jump from Greg Parmalee, but he opened the door wide open for Connor Ross. But he has opened up about a car length and a half. Ross peeks underneath for the race lead. Canada Connor really lap 1 in the 35.
Yeah, Connor making quick work. He knows that 270 machine of Chad Griggs is going to have a lot of speed, so he's got to get to the front, and, I mean, he's got to try to pull away.
Griggs high, wide, and handsome off at turn number 4. Parmalee's left the door open, but Griggs had to let off, get on the binders to avoid rear-ending the 4. He shut the door on and 1 in the flip pit badly. That's Cale Bixler.
And these guys are not settling down up front, though, Marty. Battle for the lead.
Christopherson started from the back. He's made his way up to 3rd. May go for the Kmart 2 for 1 discount off for 4. Unable to do that. It's still Ross, Christopherson, then Griggs. 3 under a blanket as we're halfway home. 3 wide now for the lead. Here comes Griggs.
Griggs has the preferred line here on entry. Is he going to be able to float up in front of the 35? He doesn't want to, man. The 35 just too high around. It's want to run that low line in 3 and 4, that slider line. That's what's hot right now. But big run for Connor in 1 and 2.
Extremely shallow entry for Christopherson. Helps out Canada Connor. Hang on to 2nd spot for right now, but great exit for the 51, who moves up to P2. 2 to go in Heat 3. Slider from Christopherson. Putt out to the front, but no, that may lead to a bogey as Griggs and both Connor Ross cross him over. Ross looking for the lead. That's very tight. Canada Connor leads with 1 to go.
Man, smile on my face, ear to ear, Marty. What a race we are watching here. Side by side, going down the backstretch. Final time into 3 and 4.
Connor Ross sends it in deep with a slide job on Chad Griggs. Griggs unable to counter it. Connor Ross wins Heat 2. Griggs 2nd,
what a
Christopherson
race.
3rd, Parmalee 4th, Flynn 5th, Cale Bixler 6th. And yes, that was a hell of a Heat 3.
Man, really, any one of those top 3 could have won that thing. They were throwing elbows. That was good, hard, clean racing.
So we will have a 4th heat race tonight. And here's how the field lines up. Corey Denson on pole position, the 91. To his outside, it's the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. Row number 2, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32, and Brian Moore Sr. in the 558. Final row tonight, the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75, and Bob Curtis in the 12.
Brian Moore Sr., great qualifying effort out of him tonight, P4, but and he's got some tough dogs in front of him here. It's going to be a hard heat race for him. He's going to have to work for every one.
So the winner starts outside of row number 2. As we're ready to go green.
Green, green, green.
And we'll waste no time. Corey Denson on the gas, and here we go. Cote has the advantage off for turn number 2. 3 wide for just a moment for a second. Look at Anthony Morano trying to go from 3rd to 1st. Off the corner, I think it was Cote at the line, Zach.
Yeah, and the 91, he either found himself in no man's land coming out of 1 and 2, or he needs to change that gear here after the heat race, because that thing was a dog coming out of the corner. He can't keep up with them 3 in front of him.
Morano able to clear Chad Cote for now. 14:47 last time by for the driver, the number 32. Running the same line he ran that put him in victory lane tonight in the Open 358 at Fallujah. But Brian Moore Sr. underneath for second. Been a while since we've saw the man, the Moore race in yellow and red ride. Glad to have him back, Zach.
Yeah, you know, and he's been able to qualify towards the front here in some of these races, but just can't get up in the heat race and sets himself up with bad positioning for the start of the feature. If he could get these two guys, this would mean a lot for Brian.
So we are halfway home. Cote, meanwhile, has got a run on Morano. Had a great exit off for turn number 2. I think Morano, though, a lot better in 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. 3-car battle for the win.
Yeah, right now, Brian Moore, man, he is licking his chops. Arguably the fastest out of the 3, but he's got to get 2 guys here, and he's running out of time. 2 to go.
It may take a slide job for Morano to seal this one, because Cote is so good ripping the lip in turn 2, but same with Brian Moore. 3 wide once again. That time a bad 1 and 2, and if Moore crowds Cote, which he does, they make contact, and around goes the 11. Oh, I thought Fermoni was going to keep it going, but doesn't.
Yeah, Cote's not going to be very happy with that one.
No,
but,
he
you
will
You
not.
got to live to race another day.
So Cote will have to race the B main for some extra practice. Checkers! Whoo! That was tight. Morano takes the win in Heat 4. Moore second, Denson third, Bixler fourth, Curtis fifth, and Cote sixth.
Let's see here, Marty. We going to get treated with a B main?
I think we will.
And yes, we will.
Championship by 44 points on Sam Bachman. So just got the text in from Patrick Spangler. And congratulations to Slide Job. All right, the extra practice lineup looks like this. Roger Craig and Steve Maurer, pair of salty dogs on row number 1. Row number 2, Tyler Flynn and Bob Curtis. Chris Schaefer and Gary Alford each make up row number 3. Cale Bixler is next to Chad Cote the Goose. That is on row number 4. Final row for this B main. Well, you won't see it actually. Oh, hang on. We hit the wrong button. Dean Reynolds and Cale Nisley not racing in Rebels tonight. Jason Butterfield checking in. Good to see you Friday as well. I understand. Hey, I couldn't talk more either because I had to get ready for the CRSA feature. We were minutes away from blowing the horn saying, hey, get the car set. But I did, and I want to give a shout out to Jason's son, Butters Jr., providing us some great photos throughout the night. Great victory lane photo of Jeff Tremblay that was posted on our press release, and Tremblay tied for first now all time with the CRSA wins list with 14.
Green
All right, extra practice, the Consi underway. Already seen some contact going to turn number 1. No yaw from one driver. I believe that's Curtis of the 012. He lets everyone go past him.
Yeah, that just shows, he's probably trying to let everyone go by. But, I mean, these things turn with the throttle, Marty. If you're not getting in the gas, you're kind of a rolling chicane out there.
Tyler Flynn with the 3-for-1 opportunity as Cote gets sideways. Oh, he dealt with contact from one. May not want to deal with it from another one. Oh, look out, look out. Woo-hoo! Tyler Flynn hanging on for dear life with a wheelie.
Yeah, and this is where you just got to remind yourself you're in the show, so you don't want to make any enemies out here. You still got 30 laps in the feature, so behave.
Well, nobody's going to be out of the show here either, so this is just extra practice for the drivers. If you're in a wreck, don't fret. You're just starting from the back. Cote now to the point in front of Roger Craig. It's Maurer has some more contact off of Tyler Flynn. Forces 3 wide for 4th, and through is Cale Bixler for now. Man, this track is like a skating rink right now, Zach. Everybody hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, it's very racy, though, so I'm licking my lips here for the feature.
And
We're
here with
Maurer!
Maurer. Oh, my goodness. Into the flip pit. Look how high he got. Nearly cleared the fence. That was a bad one with 4 to go.
Yeah, Volusia might not want that footage to get out. They may have to raise that fence a little bit.
Yeah, too bad. We're going to show it right now. Here it is on the Malcolm's Mill riding replay. Contact with Cale Bixler. Pancakes the wall, and look at this car go into the flip pit. So we've got 2 to go in this B main. Chad Cote leads still by 1.5 seconds.
Cale Bixler, hard
Oh
wreck.
my, another crash. That's Cale Bixler in the flip pit this time and collects Gary Offutt.
Chris Schaefer with a big send got into the side of Cale Bixler, and man, he went for a ride.
Are we sure we are not at Weber Valley? Because there's a lot of banging going on here in this B main. Kidding. Chad Cote checkers wins the B main. Roger Craig 2nd, Tyler Flynn 3rd, Chris Schaefer 4th, Bob Curtis in 5th, Gary Offutt 6th, Cale Bixler 7th, Steve Maurer 8th. And so that, my friends, is how the B main comes to an end. Let's take a look real quick before this goes after this goes to warm up. We got to look back at Cale Bixler's wild ride. Off of Chris Schaefer. Man, what a ride both of them take. So we'll step aside here and take a commercial break. Go ahead, Zach. I'm sorry.
I was going to say he could have stepped out of the car and got a beer from a fan there through the fence. He was up there.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Rebels Division on the Coast to Coast Racing League Network, presented by Malcolm's Mills Mill Rating.
As we get set to go here for racing, just about a minute away from going green. Quickest driver on track is Isaac Salas with a 14.8, followed by Chad Griggs, our champion, with a 14.82, and Brian Moore Sr. with a 14.83. There's a look at Anthony Morano, our Open 358 winner, 12th quickest on the track at a 15.16.
Man, wild flip for Trent for straight in there. Holy.
Ooh,
Him and Isaac
there are
Salas,
guys with
wild.
flips. I think we may see a bunch of those tonight. As the checkers wave here on this feature tonight, on this warm-up tonight, I should say. Let's meet the field for our 30-lap feature and give you your RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole, Rick Mayne in the 187 to his outside. It's Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 2, Canada Connor Ross in the 35, and the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 3, Zach Neubauer in the 52, and JJ, the Jet Plane, Odell in the 38. Row number 4, Chad Griggs in the 27, and Brian Moore Sr. in the 558. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer in the 77, and Trent Verstraeten in the 88. Row number 6, Clay Christopherson in the 51. Putt-putts next to Corey Denson in the 91. Row 7, Tyler Lucy in the number 3, and Jonathan Dolly in the 74. Row 8, Greg Parmalee in the 4, and the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Pair of Canadians make up row 9. The Goose, Chad Cote, your B-main winner. Next to the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747. Row number 10, Tyler Flynn, the 831, and Chris Schaefer in the 123. Row 11, Bob Curtis in the 012, and Cale Bixler in the 789. Rounding out the grid tonight, it's Gary Offa in the 94, and Steve Maurer in the 888. So safe to say, if you or a loved one had a very wild ride at Fallujah tonight, you're starting from the back, and you may be entitled to compensation. Pick to win tonight. Give me Solace from second.
All right. Oh, man.
I know I'm going to jinx him.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much won every race this year. Let's go with Chad Griggs. He can do it from 7th.
Alrighty. See what he can do. So under a lap to green, we'll be set to go racing this time by 24 drivers set to take the green flag for 30 laps. As we await the Flatline Racing Body's green flag. For the second time tonight, it's time to shake and bake. Rick Mayne, Isaac Salas, ready to bring us to the green flag. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is in. It's time to get it on. Mayne comes out with the early lead. Big run from Salas off of turn 2. Sends a deep slide job on lap number 1 by the Salsa man. Isaac Salas leads the opening lap. Mayne second, Ross third, 3 wide for the 5th position. Meanwhile, with Neubauer stuck in the middle, that's Chad Briggs, who goes 2 for 1 up to 5th, Zach.
Yeah, making the bottom work right now. And what I love about that, saving that right rear tire, him and the Ant-Man are both right against that inside wall, whereas that 35, he is burning it up. Connor Ross is using his stuff on that high side.
Same with the top 2. Rick Mayne, Isaac Salas, both on the top side. Now Salas keeps it on the baby bottom. Rick Mayne, the quickest driver last time by, at a 15.06. better by just under 2/10 last time by maybe looking for the race lead. Let's go back to the race for third. Morano trying to hang on. He's got company from both Connor and Ant-Man. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Connor and Chad.
Connor has figured something out on that high side in 3 and 4. He's getting real close to that wall. It's not working for him in 1 and 2. He's staying committed, but man, he's a rocket ship in 3 and 4.
Chad trying to look underneath, but Connor Ross nearly Hail Meloned it. Chad Griggs with a slider right in front of him. Griggs has third to line. He started back in 7th.
Oh, for
We've
the
got
lead.
a challenge for the lead. Rick Main with a slider to the point.
And Isaac wasted no time, Marty. He's coming right back with one of his own.
Yeah, you try and slide job, you get slide job back. And a great
And
battle.
all this racing is able letting Chad Griggs look. He's creeping into that picture, Marty. He says, guys, keep going at it.
The Rebels champ. Oh, near contact between the top two as Solace hanging on by about 2 car lengths.
And Rick had to really check up, and all of a sudden, Chad is right there. So Rick knows he's got to go, or else he's got that points leader right behind him.
Main still looking for the race lead. 7th start of the season for Rick Main, and of course we know this is his first ever season in Coast to Coast. Bob Curtis off the pace, hoping to bring this on to pit road. If he stops, we'll get our first yellow flag of the night. Curtis has it on pit road. We stay green as they're wing to wing for the leadoff for 2. Solace clears.
Yeah, I got a real good feeling that Bob didn't load in the feature setup and he's out of gas. A tough break for Bob Curtis.
Griggs stays in 3rd, Morano 4th, and Brian Morris Sr. rounds out the top 5. Solace kisses the wall. We saw the sparks off for turn 2 for just a moment. Again, 2 car lengths between Solace and Main. They continue to go to war for this race lead as we're about to see some lap traffic for the first time on lap 12. Let's take a look at the 5-lap average. Way too tough to see who's the better race car at the moment. Main for the lead. And with the
Big
slide
send.
job, puts it to the point.
Yeah, Isaac tried to counter back in the middle of the corner, but was real tight. He's still going to throw one here in 1 and 2, and will Rick,
Great
man, no
pass.
driving to center off.
Main has a tough time trying to counter it back. That top 3, your best 3 drivers on the track as the leaders approach Gary off foot in the 94. Let's see how Solace attacks this. Tyler Lucy has crashed, and we have our first yellow of a feature tonight. How about that? Our 44th lap of a feature, and we get our first caution of the night. Give it up for the drivers.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty unbelievable, Marty. I mean, I'm willing to throw myself under the bus here. I talked to you in the intermission. I thought we were due for a lot of cautions tonight here in this race, and man, these guys have impressed. Good, hard battling and just staying off each other. These guys are really showing what they're made of here.
Yeah, Lucy just caught the wall too much and put it and decided to hit the brakes. I was like, I'm going to bring it down pit road. Didn't want to take a risk of driving into traffic under green conditions, and I safe to say I don't blame him.
No, I mean, that's what you see any local track on a Friday or Saturday night. If they got that right rear flat or anything like that, any damage after getting in the wall, they're going to get on the brakes. You don't know who's behind you. And I mean, we did see the leaders catching up lap traffic. Last thing you want to do is go an extra lap around and pull down the track in front of leaders. He did the right thing.
So the driver the 3 back on track, assuming he used a quick repair already. So we'll be halfway home in just a moment in this feature. And it's been the Isaac Solace Rick Main show, and for my guess, the 5 has selected the top for this restart.
Yeah, he has. Doesn't want to worry about having to go in there and throw a slide job going in the corner. He wants to carry all that momentum. So now, Anthony Morano, you got a big smile on your face. You got to nail this restart. You know you could go from 4th to 2nd in a lap here. So pressure's on the Ant-Man right now.
So we're going to watch this restart from our Chapman Racing drone for the first time tonight. Isaac Solace, Rick Main, row 1. Chad Griggs, Anthony Morano, row 2. Brian Moore Sr., J.J. Odell, row 3. Clay Christopherson, Preston Kramer, row 4. Trent Verstraeten and Zach Neubauer, row 5. Biggest mover. In 11th, Chris Schaefer started 20th. He is up to 11th. Solace, the control car for this restart. When does he fire? There he goes.
Green, green, green.
And a good jump for Salas. He immediately clears Rick Main the turn number 1. Anthony Morano is moved up to third. Don't know if he got past Chad Griggs at the line, but Griggs with an opportunity to pounce for the runner-up spot here, Zach.
Yeah, this is exactly what that 5 wants. Wants those 2
Three
to race
wide.
hard behind. Oh, man, they are both quick right now.
We're halfway home, 15 up and 15 down. Main trying to grab that race lead from Isaac Sauce, but the 5 slams the door right in his face.
Yeah, you know, got to get defensive. Got to change your lineup. That's exactly what the 5's doing. You got to keep Rick Main guessing here.
Got trouble off for Gary off, but he's got a damaged race car. Right front, completely gone. Get that car on the flip pit. And these are round. It's got to get it towed or else we'll go to yellow, and he tows it, but the yellow flag waves. At the last second, dang it, iRace, and he was already towed. We were fine. Hearing reports as well that Preston Cranmer is blinking here, so he's having some netcode issues. Here's the cause of caution here for Gary Offutt. Ooh, caught the Jersey barrier, retaining wall, and bam! Right off the Uke tires, or the attenuator. Damaged the left front. Car won't even steer one bit. Doesn't even realize it. Now, if it's completely in the flip pit, I think iRacing would have let that one go green.
Yeah, I think just enough was sticking out there on the track that we were doomed with a caution. But, I mean, we see there's not much consistency with those cautions, so it's always a luck of the draw there. Interesting here, Marty. Isaac's going to go to the bottom this time. Is right now, yeah, Isaac Salas, he's going to choose that bottom this time, so.
So remember, he selected the high side last restart.
Yeah, you know, maybe didn't feel comfortable with the amount of grip up there on the high side, but I think it's almost your best bet to stay on that high side. If you want to give anybody a jump on the restart, it's that 32. I think Chad Griggs is the last guy you want to give a good restart bonus to. If he can get around Rick Main here, he may be able to make easy work of the 5.
Well, this could get interesting here. Again, our final double fire restart of the night coming up here. If something happens with the top 2, Chad Griggs and Anthony Morano will pounce. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is in. Back to the green. Bad restart for Maine. Griggs immediately through to the second position. And he crossed it at the line. So even if a yellow flies right now, Griggs would be credited as the runner-up driver at the moment. Throws it in on Rick Main, and Griggs officially up to second. Top 4 single file while they're 3 wide for 6th. That's Christofferson, Preston Cranmer, and J.J. Odell going to battle.
Yeah, that's 77, man. He is quick, but right now both lanes in front of him are taken, so he's going to either have to go in the middle or he's going to have to use some patience and just stick around. But, man, running out of time. Can't have patience.
Ooh, Salas again in that wall in turn number 2. Griggs and Main both peaked underneath, and now Main low on Griggs for the runner-up spot. Takes it away off of turn number 4. I think that may have spooked Griggs for just a moment. I saw him get a low handful on corner exit.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little surprised here. I thought, I mean, you heard me say it. I thought Chad would get around into P2, make easy work. But that 5, Isaac Salas is driving tonight. That guy's showing why he's a wheel man. And, man, he is in his own league here, Marty.
At an 0.8 of a second lead, biggest lead anyone has had tonight without question. And now Main tries to reel back in the man that won the Open 358 Modified Championship. Let's go back near the front. Morano with company for 4th by Christofferson and J.J. Odell. Yellow lights are on once again, and it's for Trent Verstraeten, and that car looks like that took a trip to the flip pit.
Yeah, Brian Moore Sr. tried to come in from a different state with that one, and Trent went for a ride.
He flipped, man, could you believe that? He flipped all the way down the front straightaway. I've never seen anyone do that here. Look at this. Wasn't even on all four wheels for the entirety of the front straightaway. That's insane.
Yeah, Trent lucky enough to have a quick repair and get back out there, but man, he doesn't have a lot of time to make up those track positions. Tough break for Trent. Single file restart coming up here. You got to feel good if you're the 5. You were able to walk away, and I mean, shouldn't feel any pressure here for at least 2 laps. As long as Isaac stays smooth and stays true to himself here, he should be able to pick up a win.
He'll get that one freebie lap, obviously, when we come back to the green. Let's pull up once again the 5-lap average. And you can see Solace easily the quickest race car on the track.
And, you know, that just, I mean, it really is so hard to do. I mean, it's so hard to run that fastest lap when you're out front by yourself. You got no one to race off of. He's having to just drive all by feel and just keep the car comfortable. He's really driving his butt off tonight.
Here we come for the restart. 6 laps remain. Able to hold serve easily. With that single file restart, Maine has possession of second. 4 right now. Trying for everything to get bite. Morano. Now a chance at third on Chad Griggs, possibly with 5 to go, Zach.
Yeah, but he's got a mirror full of his teammate here. Is there 3 wide? Wow.
Contact between the full throttle teammates, and they were actually nearly 4 wide at one point, with Brian Moore Sr. running 7th in that yellow 558. 4 laps to go, meanwhile, for Isaac Salas. A good lead, but that goes away as the yellow flies once again.
Yeah, looks like Trent frustrating again here. Tough break.
And he is done for the night. Cautions breed cautions in this second half. Rode the wall in 3 and 4. Bang. The outside wall. Calls it a night. Now, something else to remember here, too. Keep in mind, top 5, as long as the IL is under what it's supposed to be for Renegades. Salas, Maine, Griggs, Odell, Christofferson would be your transfer drivers. So Morano's starting to run out of time. That was not what he wanted to deal with there with Odell and Christofferson, as he was looking for third.
Yeah, and you know, JJ, quite the opposite there. He took the opportunity and pounced, was able to get both of them in that corner, and now he gets a good restart here. He can go to work on Chad Griggs. So Chad, I mean, I picked him to win here, but these last 10 or so laps, been struggling there in third place.
Scott Rayom checking in, rooting for the Full Throttle Motorsports team. And highest driver is Christofferson in 5th. It'll be 3 to go when we come back to green.
And now we're getting to the point, cautions breed cautions, right, Marty? We saw a guy run out of gas in the 358s. You better have put enough gas in this thing for a green-white checkered with the way these guys have been racing.
Kind of a good point. However, though, for Brandon Templeton, that one caution-free. He ran out of fuel, finishing in 9th at the end. See what happens on this restart with 3 laps remaining.
Green, green, green.
Salas went on the green flag this time.
Excellent job of keeping the field guessing. I mean, it's going to take him till the white flag lap to even catch up to that 5, and Rick's got to be perfect from here on out.
Christopherson low on Odell for 4th for some insurance spots here. Morano raced very hard for the 6th position. A hard-fought battle coming to the end with 2 to go, Zach.
Yeah, Morano's looking on that outside, but just gets a little loose coming out of 2. He's going to drive it in deep, but man, that 558 right behind him, Brian Moore Sr., he's hungry too. So, Anthony, if you got something, you got to go here one more time around.
Isaac Salas remains out in front. The driver of the Venom Racing Super Dirt Car Series. Number 5 makes his way through 3 and 4 with an open 358 modified championship earlier tonight. Now he's got a Rebels victory in Volusia. Isaac Salas the winner. Main 2nd, Griggs 3rd, Odell 4th, Christopherson 5th, Schaefer the biggest mover from 20th to 8th. But it's Chad Griggs, the man of the hour in the end. He is your 2024 Summer Rebels champion. So congratulations to Griggs and the Scott Tomasin Racing 27. And we know without question that he will be a force to be reckoned with in Renegades next season in the fall. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of these guys, realistically, this podium, I mean, anybody in that Renegades division, you better be waiting, because these guys are coming knocking.
So look at your results here from tonight. Good runs as well by Chad Cote, who finished in the 9th position this evening. As we look at 11th through 20th. Tyler Flynn up there finishing in 14th to end his night tonight. Obviously the heartbreaks tonight, Trent Verstraeten and Connor Ross. Gary Offa with a night he would like to forget, that's for sure. Not really good performances in either a heat, B main, or feature. So we've got your top 3. We're going to save the champion for last. And you know what? We're going to talk to your race winner first this time. Let's go to Isaac Salas, and we will have Zach take this one.
Hey, Isaac, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, you just won a 358 Open Championship, and now you come over here and you win in the Rebels, man. How's it feel? You beat 2 of the top dogs, too. I mean, not to inflate your head, kid, but that's got to feel good.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. I was literally like talking with Trent there. I was like, man, I literally have a chance to win one of these finally after, 2 second places in a row in the Rebels the past couple weeks. So, finally good to get one, man. Man, it feels good.
Yeah, a little difference here than the 358s. We had some cautions in this one, and that first restart, we saw you choose the high side. Why the change there on the other restarts? Why'd you switch to the bottom?
I figured that I really wasn't gonna get too much of a help on those restarts, because either way you had to drive through the slick. And I was like, man, if I can just at least have the shorter distance around now instead. I thought there was a little bit more tack up top above the slick, if I'm being honest. And so when I figured out that there was just, you had to drive through the slick no matter what, it was just kind of a, well, let's just take the shortest distance to the corner here and have a chance to slide up in front of them.
Well, man, you gave us an exciting heat race there, sliders, and then, man, just as good of a race here in the feature. Great job, kid. Way to end the season with a win. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I appreciate that one, man. Like I said, Venom Racing, Dean the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Tommy Gun Customs, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, my Grams with Top Notch Trucking. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to Coast for the another awesome season. I've been terrible in sprint cars, if I'm not gonna lie to you, but the last 3 weeks I finally figured out how to do something. Yeah, and that, like, thanks to my friends, my family. Thanks to Kelsey for always supporting me. So yeah, on that it was great. Good run to Mr. Chad and Rick. Made it real nervous for me.
Great job, Isaac. We gonna see you unload that thing for the Renegades here?
No, sir. IL,
right,
buddy. The IL's hurting.
Well, you behave yourself, and great race, kid.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
So Isaac Salas, your winner. Not bad of a way for him to end the night, that's for sure. Let's go to our second place finisher, Rick Main. I'll take this one so we can let Zach take the champion. Rick, a nice run for you tonight, man. What positives do you take away out of this one?
Well, man, the way you guys set this up just works for me because I'm terrible in qualifying, so I got a good spot there in my heat, and then started on the pole. Would have loved to bring it home, but I'm not upset at all with a second place. I felt like I had a fast car, and I just couldn't quite get to Isaac there late.
Do you feel like maybe as well you maybe used your tires up a little bit too early or something, or how'd you look at that from your perspective?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I'm not super knowledge on all the fucking oops, sorry, on all the tire stuff. But I felt like I still had some drive off. I couldn't get going on those restarts. I was so bad on restarts tonight. It would take me a few laps to reel him back in, and then the caution would come out, and it just was not playing in my favor there.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Yeah, man, just all my guys at Inferno helping me out. M9 setup, D&T Designs always keeping me looking great, and just you guys for putting this on. I absolutely love the broadcast. You guys make it so much fun. Jack and some of those guys for adminning. I know that can't be fun sometimes, and they do it every week for us, and they put on a great show. So all those guys.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight, and for seeing the Renegades, best of luck.
Hey, man, thank you, guys.
And we apologize for his exciting language there, that's for sure. Let's go to Victory Lane and talk to your champion here. Chad Griggs gets it done. Zach, we'll let you take this.
Hey, champ. Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you got to watch the season previous to when you got in here, but we were treated to a season by a guy named Ross Corinna who absolutely dominated this. And you come in here, you do the same thing. I mean, tonight you had your handful a little bit there with Rick. You were able to get around him. He's able to fight you back. But how good does it feel to end this season with a championship?
It's awesome. It's what I wanted from the beginning. I wanted to come in here and run the Rebels for a full season and hopefully come out on top of that. And my intent is to keep going. I won't be over in the Renegades tonight, but the next season, race 1, I'll be there.
Well, and this isn't, I'm not trying to put you on the spot here and make anybody mad at you here, Chad, but I mean, with the way we've seen you race in some of these charity races, I mean, we see the talent you have. You're obviously one of the better sprint car drivers on the game. How do you think you're going to do next season in the Renegades division? Do you think you're going to be a point contender?
My goal would be nothing less than the top 3 in points, whichever it would be, 1, 2, or 3. But I won't be satisfied with anything less than that.
Well, man, that's what makes you who you are, and that's why you're on the podium every week. Great run here tonight, Chad. Phenomenal, and even better, man. Great season. I cannot wait to see you in the Renegades next year. But who you want to thank on tonight, my man?
Thank all the people that make it possible. Roger for the league, Hit for adminning that our division there. You guys for broadcasting. I forget the name. Malcolm Millwrighting, maybe. The people that put up and donate the money to make this league and the broadcasts of it come to fruition. So appreciate all those guys, and then my team owner Scott Thomason, appreciate all he does for our group of guys, and then also my teammate Josh Whiteman for doing all my paint jobs.
Hell of a season, Chad. Man, you definitely disappoint. Like I said, cannot wait until next season. Good luck, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All righty. Chad Griggs, your Rebels champion for the summer, and a statement made towards the Renegades. Cannot wait to see how he performs there. Take another break. When we come back, it's Renegades time, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we are moments away from our final race of the season on this Monday night. Renegades brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing as we get set to go. Welcome you back into the booth. Marty Scala alongside Zach Chapman. Blake Chapman, 70-point lead on Patrick Spengler. That's pretty much good enough for this championship. But it seems like there could be some situations where if he has a bad night, Patrick Spengler or even Jesse Banny, they could have a slight opportunity to steal it.
Yeah, I've seen Patrick comment there in the chat box tonight. Not sure if he plans on getting in here and racing, Marty, but right now he's not even in this session. So Patrick might have thought it too much to run tonight. But I do want to give a quick shout out here to John Hahn. John Hahn not here tonight. We're all thinking of you, man. John's daughter, they found a tumor on her brain a couple days ago and had to operate. So she is doing better. She is in recovery. But John, everyone here, man, we're all thinking about you, dude. We love you.
Absolutely, John. Our thoughts and prayers go towards your way. And, yeah, I definitely know the feeling of that, too, in the past. So, all right. Here we go for qualifying. First driver we're going to put our eyes on here. We'll watch the driver of the victory field, number 7. That is Bob D. Good. Just about got the best of the best here with us tonight. First lap for Bob D. Good, 13:70. Let's go to Dean Reynolds, who goes quickest at 13:54. Jesse Bandy answers back, 13:49. Jeff Barker third, 13:50. Dean Reynolds may have a better lap. He doesn't, 13:06 on lap number 2. Rick Main third. Coming to the line for the driver of the 187 is off at a 13:55. Jack Hick goes up to 5th. Steven Stewart 6th on lap 1 at a 13:57. Bryce Odell second quick on lap number 1 at a 13:49. Blake Chapman now second quick, 13:47. Steven Stewart on lap number 2 off, 13:66. Here comes Bryce Odell across the start finish line. He is off, 13:59. Blake Chapman's second lap time is short at 13:50. Jesse Atkinson, lap 1 time, 13:48, 30 seconds left to go in qualifying. The Pink Panther off in Sector 1, Sector 2, quickest of all drivers, and he goes up to second quick at a 13:44. One more hundredth, he would have been on the pole. Tyler Wilson, the checkered flag, better in Sector 2, and that puts him up to 7th at a 13:54. Having some issues on Bradway's internet, but he is taking a lap. And his lap 1 or 2 time, I don't know what it is, but Jesse Bandy on pole position, or the quickest, so Tyler Wilson and Dean Reynolds.
Yeah, I believe with those internet issues there, that's why his lap didn't count.
That could possibly be the case there too. So, all right, 2 heats this evening. So I believe we have a car count of 14, if not 13. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. And it's the Macho Man Tyler Wilson on pole position, the 42. To his outside, it's the Bird to Beast Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 2, the Salesman Blake Chapman in the 20. And the Bandyville Master Jesse Bandy in the 49. Two of the 2 championship contenders with us here tonight in row 2. Gentleman Jack Hitt inside of row 3 next to Puppa, Clay Christofferson. And rounding out the grid tonight, Bob D. Good in car number 7. J.J. Odell said that Rebels race was so much fun. Glad to hear it. And God bless number rooting for Steven Stewart and 25 Enterprise.
What a new paint job for the 513.
Yeah,
I almost
that's a
didn't
nice
recognize
job.
the Brewerton Beast. That
Nice
thing
job
looks good.
by. I think we had that last week. I can't remember because I don't believe you were with us last week. But a shout out to, I believe, Ross Corinner of Velocity Race Design for doing the job on that.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out for Heat 1. Winner is on pole for the feature. Good start from Tyler Wilson. Blake Chapman wasting no time up to second. Bandy and Barker look to do some business for the 3rd spot. It's lap 1, led by Wilson. Chapman, nice slide job on Barker. Immediately has the 513 clear, but still on his tail tank, though, Zach.
Yeah, but now he drives over the hill there going into 3, and he's going to lose that spot. Jesse Bandy is now Bandy. He's going to look under Blake Chapman. He's going to try to go to work, but not enough of a run off of 2.
Chapman in that number 20. Current points leader by 70 points. That's with the drops as well. Quickest driver on the track at a 13:53, followed by Bandy at 13:55. So good racing for the lead. We're halfway home, 4 up and 4 down, Zach.
Yeah, you know, not a lot of cars here tonight, only 2 heats. So you're just racing for what row you're going to start in. This isn't do or die like it normally is. So I think that's why we're seeing Bandy not really press the envelope here.
Blake made contact with Tyler Wilson. You could hear the salesman let off the throttle. I thought there was contact. I don't know. It was just a tiny bit that forced Blake to let off the throttle. This gives Bandy a chance to take away second, coming to 2 to go.
Yeah, it's a case of Blake knows he's probably got this championship locked up. Why mess up tonight? You know, you don't need to wreck that guy, possibly take out yourself. Just be smart here.
Here comes Bandy as well. Bandy was looking underneath Tyler Wilson as well for the lead. 1 lap to go. Wilson still not out of this just yet. Bandy sends it in deep. He can't get that to work. That should allow Tyler Wilson to start on pole for tonight's feature. Bandy with one last shot for second. You know who's going to win. Tyler Wilson. Second to Blake Chapman. Third, Jesse Bandy. Fourth, Barker. Fifth, Christofferson. Sixth, and seventh to Good.
Yeah, Bandy's going to be kicking himself there with a better exit off of 2. He probably would have had P2. Going for the lead would have been a stretch, but man, Bandy cost himself one there.
Time to figure out the outside row. Heat 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Here's the starting lineup. Dino on the pole. Dean Reynolds in the 79. Rick Main to his outside in the 187. Row 2, it's Bryce O'Dell in the 043. And to his outside, the Pink Panther, Jesse Exon in the 127. Row number 3, Steven Stewart in the 29 and Barry Goldner in the 36. No call to grid, Brad Waite in the 814. So that would leave us with the 13 driver feature for tonight. Final standings, by the way, for the Rebels. We know Chad Griggs is the champion and wins it by 162 points, I believe, over J.J. Odell. Yes, 162.
There almost needs to be a consolation trophy at that point. The battle for second there. What a season.
Yeah, Chad Griggs, 9 races counted, 6 wins. Every race he finished in the top 10 and 10 top 5s as well. Odell got second over Roger Craig by 24 points.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we go for the green for heat race number 2. Winner starts second tonight. Main and Reynolds wing to wing into turn number 3. Dean Reynolds, no. Main leads lap number 1. I think that yaw off of turn number 4 allowed Main to get a great exit there, Zach.
Yeah, but the 79 did a good job of making him feel uncomfortable in 1 and 2. Rode him up the hill a little bit. Now he's going to take the pass back. Main's looking to counter back, though, going down the front stretch.
Nice crisscross for the High Noon sponsored ride as Main back underneath takes the lead away. Jesse X, though, the Pink Panther in that 127. Quickest driver on track at a 13.77. Goes for second and blows past Dean Reynolds. Now looks on Main for the race lead.
Yeah, we saw how easy Maine made it look in the Rebels heat, but he ain't making it look too easy here is Jesse Atkinson. He has a lot of speed, man, and he's all over him.
Atkinson trying to make it a Training Wheels Racing front row lockout as we're halfway home. Atkinson clears Rick Main into turn number 3. Top 3, this is still your best battle of the racetrack. Look out, exit got sideways. Open up the door for Rick Main. The two nearly came to blows, and Main in that Inferno ride makes his way back to the top. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, you know, I thought the Pink Panther was going to make easy work of that once he got out front, but Rick Main, man, he shifted into another gear. That thing, he found something. Coming through 3 and 4, white flag in the air, contact!
What a save for the 187. This allows Dino to get a chance to start 4th tonight.
Yeah, Dino's trying to.
Oh, no! The same thing happened to him in the damn modified. Rick Main, checkered flag, wins the heat. Atkinson second, Odell 3rd, Stewart 4th, Goldner 5th, and Reynolds in 6th. Dang. Man, that's a bummer to see that finish play out the way it did, because those 3 were racing each other really, really well.
Yeah, you know, Jesse makes one mistake there, getting into him, and then just overdrives a little bit on exit. I think he'd take that one back if he could.
All right, we'll stop aside and go to break. When we come back, it's our feature, 35 laps on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Renegades division on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Dylan Westbrook Racing.
Warm-ups continue here before our 35-lap feature. Steven Stewart currently the quickest with an only 13-second lap time. Let's see here. Brad Waite said he lost his internet. That's unfortunate. And Toxic Texan says, thanks for all that y'all do for the lead. I believe that's Steven Stewart as well, so we appreciate his support. So, and while we wait to get our features going, here's the rest of the championship schedule. So we've already crowned a couple of champions, Brandon Templeton in both midgets and late models, Brandon Dittmer in GT3s, Jeff Barker in Matinee 360s. Here's the televised schedule for what is coming up the rest of the week in championship night. Tomorrow night retreads, Old Timer Tuesday with fixed 360s at Fallujah and pickups at Daytona. Shaggy TV's got the coverage of that. Wednesday night, Hometown Heroes at Port Royal. 360s and 410s brought to you by Shaggy TV. Thursday night, we've got Flatline Racing Bodies. Thursday Night Thunder, small blocks and big blocks to cap it all off at the Oswego Speedway, right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network. I think that's the championship I'm hyped for the most because it's small blocks and big blocks at Oswego. It'll feel like Super Dirt Week all over again.
Yeah, you know, going to be real neat. That track definitely promotes some good racing, so it's going to be an exciting Thursday night. Really an exciting week here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 35 laps at the Oswego Speedway. Who will be your Renegades champion for the summer of 24? Here's a look at the RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42, and it's Rick Mayne to his outside in the 187. Row 2, the Salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, and the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. Row number 3, the Bandy Belt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49, and Bryce O'Dell in the 43. Row 4, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Steven Stewart in the 29. Rounding out the top 10, Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson in the 51. And to his outside, it's Barry Golender in the 36. Row number 6, Gentleman Jacket in the 217. And Dean Reynolds, Dino in the 79. Final car on the grid, Bob the Good, starting from 13th. Time for predictions to win. Who do you got? Zach Chapman tonight.
Alrighty, Blake, don't let me down here.
You got Blake?
Yes, sir.
Give me a first-time winner ever in Coast to Coast. Give me Rick Mayne to get the job done. No pressure.
No, you know, and this track is not as wore in as that Rebels feature is. So remember that. We know how fast Rick was in that heat. It's going to be a lot closer to that track state. So that's a good pick, Marty.
One lap to green this time by...
I mean, it really is amazing the difference in the track. I mean, that thing was so shiny in that Rebels feature. There's tack everywhere on this thing. This is going to be one of the fastest features we've ever run here at Volusia. These guys are going to be running quick times.
From the lack of cars here tonight, absolutely. Steven Stewart with a no call to the grid, so 12 drivers will take the green. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Stewart come on out. I miss it for a few seconds. So, we're ready for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. Steve King Foundation will pull into pit road as we say, it's time to wing it and bring it, because where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's showtime at Fallujah. Tyler Wilson with the lead off of turn 2. Rick Mayne second. Blake Chapman in third. Jesse Atkinson fourth. Lap 1 though, led by the Macho Man Wilson. At the point, Chapman low and made 3 wide for the race lead. Contact all around by the top 3. And through goes the Salesman, giving everyone the 2-for-1 discount.
Yeah, you know, the Macho Man isn't going to be happy, but when he goes back and looks at that replay, that's a racing deal. He ran the middle, left enough room for 2 cars, boy, and they shoved it in there. 3 wide, that's going to happen.
Blake Chapman took the lead like he won the Publishers Clearinghouse. Rick Mayne in second, Bandy in third. Good battle for fourth between the Macho Man and the Brewerton Beast. Barker moves his way up to 4th spot, but Maine stays all over Chapman for the race lead, Zach.
Yeah, and you're going to have to include that 49 here soon as that Bandy-built machine is on rails. Jesse Bandy coming up here. Battle for the lead. Look at the run the Maine gets on the high side, but Blake comes back with a good one down the backstretch.
Yeah, Maine decided to take a peek at the second groove. Contact with Chapman there, and so the high noon ride headed back out of it. And Wilson, meanwhile, wants the bottom step of the podium from Jesse Bandy. Can he get it off at 2? Not yet.
I mean, he started on the pole. He's got a quick car, but just got a little flustered there in that contact, and he's got to put his head down and go back to work. That 42 machine, it's got speed.
This is from the back end of Jesse Bandy. Wilson very good off of turn 4, but don't know if he can really quite get 1 and 2 to stick. But that time he had a good exit off of turn 2. He could pounce for 3rd, has the nose out in front into turn 3.
Yeah, just
Maine,
drives it a little
Maine
too high.
to the lead on lap number 9.
And Maine using that middle groove. That's what Tyler Wilson needs to do. He's driving a little too high in 3 and 4. There's speed if you enter in the center.
Maine decided it's time to use up those tires and stay behind Blake Chapman the first 8 laps. Now he has the salesman cleared. The salesman now has to chase down the car of 187. The point where he may have to show some ID if he wants to sell that ride. Wilson
Bandy,
again
right?
trying 3rd
Yeah.
out, Zach.
Yeah, Bandy, I mean, he's quick, but he's just doing all he can to hold off that 42. Here comes Tyler Wilson. Not going to drive it in as high this time, and he's going to get a good run off of 4. He's going to take it at the line.
Great pass for the Macho Man to move up to the bottom step of the podium. As you look at the 5-lap average, it is all Rick Maine at the moment by 0.6 of a second on Blake Chapman, moving up to 0.7. Maine has turned everything on, so he wants to go to work early and open up this gap here. Oh, big crash. Tyler Wilson goes for a wild ride and collects jacket. The 217 also goes barrel rolling. A chain reaction barrel flip at Fallujah.
Yeah, you know, I talked about him driving in deep, and he just jumps the cushion in 1 and 2, almost gets in the wall, yanks it off, and Bandy's right there. So, big ride for that 42. Wow.
Wilson running 3rd at the time. And turn 2 was pretty much just like a ramp for Wilson. If he stays in the flip pit once again, we stay green, and Jacket has no issues.
Yeah, but, you know, I think this is what some drivers wanted, because I was just about to bring up, you know, I mean, our leader, Rick Maine, he seemed like he turned it on at the right time. Looked like it was going to go green flag, but now some guys who like to pace themselves a little bit, this is exactly what they need, and they need that jump start now. You realize you don't have a lot of cars. This thing might go green the rest of the way, so can't save anything you got. It's go time.
That yellow flag actually helps out Steven Stewart in the 29, because remember, I told you he missed the start, so he had to start a couple seconds behind everybody. And so now because of that, Stewart is able to catch up with the leaders, now could challenge for a top 10, maybe even a much better finish than that.
Yeah, and we've seen really good runs out of Steven Stewart. I mean, Knoxville, he ran very well, but missing that grid, that dooms you whenever you go 13 laps green flag. So he needed that break.
Well, we're coming back to the restart. Maine and Chapman, the front row, the 187 this time selects the bottom for Blake Chapman. Is it time for him to go to work? A move up around the outside. We'll have to see.
Green flag, green flag.
Bad restart for Blake.
That helps Jesse Bandy move up to the 2nd spot. Contact between the two. They're both battling for the championship, which Chapman has nearly secured. Has that 2nd spot back in the line. Bandy may decide, okay, you want for the slide job, I'll throw one back at you. Haven't seen a lot of those yet in this feature tonight, Zach, in a track we call Slide Job City.
No, and you don't see a lot of that out of Blake either. You know, I mean, if both those cars wreck here, Blake's the champion. So Blake can be as aggressive as he wants. It's Jesse who's got to walk on the tightrope here.
20 laps remaining. Bandy again low on Chapman for second. Let's go to the race for fourth here. Dean Reynolds has caught the 513 of Jeff Barker. Dino upstairs for that fourth position. It's his off in turn 2. Now he's got to try and secure it at the line.
Yeah, it's almost like he was really fast in his heat race and got wrecked, Marty. He's up 8 spots. I mean, this guy, if he could have started towards the front, man, what could have been? But he's got plenty of time here to get on the podium.
Reynolds is racing like a bat out of hell, but Blake Chapman, meanwhile, has cut the gap to half a car length between him and Rick Mayne for the race lead. With 17 to go, we are halfway home in this feature. Chapman back underneath, trying to put the Galen's number 20 back out in front. Mayne's hanging on for now.
Maine's so good on the top in 3 and 4, not driving over the cushion like a lot of guys are doing, and you're seeing he's really carrying that exit speed. Whereas now Blake, he realizes, man, I got to go up. We got to wear this track down a little bit. I got 15 more laps to get him, no rush.
Jesse Bandy now all over the 20 of Blake Chapman for the runner-up position. 15 laps remain here at Fallujah Speedway Park. And again, we brought it up earlier. Rick Mayne looking for coast-to-coast career win number 1. Oh, imagine if he can do this in Renegades as a Rebels driver. That would be something sweet. What a way it would be to end the season for the man in this Infernal ride, which is pretty much a second Andy Patton ride.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of us drivers in this league who have never won a sprint car race, let alone a Renegades race. And to come in and possibly get your first win in the Renegades, that's a serious stamp.
Got some other battles here around the racetrack. Jesse Atkinson trying to recover in a battle for 5th with Jeff Barker. Dean Reynolds still your biggest mover, up 8 spots after starting 12th. 11 laps to go. Next time by, it'll be 10 for Rick Mayne. He's got a lot to hang on.
Yeah, it's just so scary when you look up in that mirror and you know the 20's that close. One mistake and he's there to pounce. And, I mean, that really does wear on your psyche. This is where you just got to focus out the front of the car and hit your marks.
That's the time delta, the last 5 laps between the top 2. But obviously, with them being a yellow in the past, I think in the past 5 laps or so, we don't really know. Here's the 5-lap average. Blake Chapman is slightly faster than Rick Mayne.
Yeah, it's going to take more than that to get around him, though. So the 20's got to find something. But Rick, he little squirrely coming off of 4 there as Blake wheels down into that lead.
Chapman's been better in 3 of the last 5 laps, and he saw Mayne had a bad exit in turn number 4. 7 laps remain. Mayne with a slider line, trying to use that to open up some sort of space. Listen to Chapman on board. He's wide open through 1 and 2, but the yellow flag flies with 7 to go. Oh, baby, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, Blake's going to be shaking his head in the car. He was just finally hitting his marks there. He was starting to reel him in. Now he's got to get that rhythm back.
Look at what happened with Stewart. Catch Bryce Odell. Yep, around he went. Clip Christofferson. Clay upside down in that 51 from the looks of it. Couldn't tell there in our pictures we were showing you.
Yeah, Clay did, and looks like he's going to call it quits here as he disconnects from the session. It's a tough break for Clay.
I know we'll definitely see Clay Thursday at Oswego for the small blocks and the big blocks.
I mean, what's going through your head if you're Rick, Marty? I mean, you literally do
goodness.
have 2 of the best behind you. I mean, he's going to have to go to work.
If you're Rick, you better be hanging on for dear life. That's for sure.
No, we always talk about it though. These single file restarts definitely benefit to the leader here. So Blake's got to do all he can to make sure he only gives up about a lap deficit or so. This is going to be a real important restart for this 20.
Well, once again, as we like to say, the leader has a freebie lap when we have a single file restart. We'll have 6 laps remaining. These are about to be the longest 6 laps of Rick Main's career. The best finish that Rick Main has had, a second. Twice in Eldora and Knoxville. Eldora was with the Rebels on July 1st. Knoxville was the Week 13 Triple Crown show in the spring. We're back to green. A great jump for Rick Main.
Yeah, he couldn't have done that any better. I mean, he's got at least a 2-lap gap here.
Maybe,
this is big.
Maybe his best restart of the night. Don't look now, Jesse. Meanwhile, here comes Dino for that 3rd position, and we could go 3 wide for 2nd with 5 to go.
Yeah, Dino just struggling to find tack off the exit of 2. He's got to go back to the top shelf, but he's got some speed. Just got to work up enough momentum to throw a twofer.
4 laps to go for Rick Main. He lost a 10th to Blake and Jesse that last time by. The gap, 7/10 of a second as the top 2 in the championship try to catch Rick Main. 3 to go for the 187.
Yeah, Blake's praying to the caution gods here, whereas Rick just wants this thing to stay green. Coming out of 4, gonna have 2 more laps around.
2 laps to go. Remember, our Rebels champion, Chad Griggs, made a statement dominating that championship saying, hey, I want to be in the top 4 at the end of the Renegade season next year. Rick Main may be a contender next season. He sees the white flag. 1 lap to go. The countdown is on for Rick Main in the Inferno Motorsports. Number 187 High Noon Machine. He's a Rebels driver, but through 3 and 4, a first-time coast-to-coast winner. Rick Main does it in the Renegades.
And you called it, Marty.
Blake Chapman 2nd, Jesse Vandy 3rd, Dino 4th, Atkinson 5th. Rick Main wins the battle. Blake Chapman wins the war at the end. Chapman is your Renegades champion once again. But, oh, man, I know the night belongs to him on this season. But the night as well has to go to Rick Main as well. First ever coast-to-coast victory in a Renegades event of all places. The toughest division to win at.
Yeah, Rick did his best to steal some of that spotlight here from Blake tonight, and he did a great job. Big win. Hats off to you, Rick.
We show you the results here on your screen. Biggest mover, Dino, from 12th to 4th in the end. What a way to end Monday Night Madness this season, that's for sure. So just waiting on your top 3 to all join us here in the chat.
Yeah, they probably got to catch their breath after that one. That was a good one.
I don't blame them, that's for sure. Let's go to our 3rd place finisher, Jesse Bandy. Zach, we'll let you take this one.
Hey, Jesse, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, you know, I mean, with the championship pretty far out of reach tonight, it seemed you were giving Blake all you could handle, man. What more could you have done to get around that 20?
I don't think I had enough to get around him, to be honest with you. I think I had enough just to maybe put a little pressure on him and just try to stay safe. And we did make contact there once. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to go back and watch the replay. But yeah, no, car felt good. I just don't think I had enough to get around for sure.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I know you guys work.
tight.
Yeah, you know, actually that tightness, that's what I was going to kind of bring up here. So with the low car count, I mean, that can't be something you anticipated, Jesse. You're normally on a much looser racetrack. I mean, how much of a shock was it for you to have this much grip in the feature?
Oh yeah, I was scrambling there. You know, seeing even going into qualifying that there's 14 cars, right? Track was really green then, and yeah, definitely made some changes and freed the car up and didn't want to shoot myself in the foot. Probably could have freed it up some more. Yeah, it was pretty tight off. So.
Well, Jesse, slowly but surely, man, you're getting that speed back. Another podium here to finish the season. Way to set the tone for next year. Good run, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, Chad Greggs for spotting again. He's really pulled through for me and has helped out quite a bit. Ross over at Velocity Race Designs, everybody over at Bandybuilt, Dirt Doctor Trucking, Bio.com, Aces Up Sim Sports, you guys for the broadcast, and C2C for the league.
Great run, Jesse, man. Looking forward to a lot more of these next season. Good run.
Appreciate you.
All right, Jesse Bandy with a third place finish here tonight, and comes in the end short in the championship. Let's go to your set. Let's go to your winner. We're gonna save second for last year. Let's go to your winner in victory lane, Rick Main. You are a Coast to Coast Racing League winner. How does this feel?
Let's go, baby! Your boy is stoked.
Over in Renegades, of all places, the toughest division to win in.
Hey, I promise I won't swear, but I really wanted to swear this time. I won't do it again. But yeah, I am so freaking stoked, man. I can't explain it.
Oh man, those final laps, that final caution. Did you want to see that or no?
No, I was ready to cry.
You had a feeling that Chapman or Bandy would blow past you after the restart.
Yeah, I mean that's what my car did not like the high side, and I felt like their middle late it kind of went there, and I just couldn't run it that well, and I felt like I was losing wholesale time to Blake. That's why I knew I had to get off good on those restarts and put a good enough gap to even have a chance.
Well, it seemed like that Blake would close in on you on the long run, and then that caution would fly, and then on restarts, you'd have a pretty good gap, and then there was pretty much just not enough time for him to catch you there.
Yeah, I don't know if they were helping me or hurting me. Either way, that was a long 35 laps, I'll be honest, and it got a little dicey there at the beginning, but I knew it was going to be hard to pass, and I wanted to get back out front as fast as I could because I felt like that's what happened, and I couldn't get around Isaac in that last race.
How are you going to celebrate this one tonight?
Hey, man, I got some high noons in the fridge. Hey, boys, do you know what time it is? It's high noon.
Who else do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Hey, man, I got to thank all my boys at Inferno. They helped me out a ton, get me racing better. M9 setups, D&T designs. My boy Donald kills it on my car every time I ask for something crazy. So just all those guys. And then, this is awesome. I'm so glad I got in this league. All you guys are great. The broadcast is phenomenal. The admin's phenomenal. All the guys in here, they're phenomenal. It's just great. I'm great.
Well, go celebrate with a high noon. You may be I think you may be shotgunning a couple tonight.
Thanks, baby.
Rick Main, a first-time winner in Renegades. He'll be celebrating with a high noon, but this man will be celebrating with some popcorn. Blake Chapman, the salesman, you are a Renegades champion officially once again, man. How's this feel, man?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I wasn't sure coming into the season that I was going to be able to do this. I figured I'd miss a couple weeks. I only think I missed one. But yeah, it feels pretty good. We were just really, really consistent this season, stayed out of trouble, and that's what it takes.
Where did you feel was the turning point from your perspective this year? Because you and Spangler really had, once again, another tight battle.
Yeah, I think probably started last season when I got some setups dialed in to run that bottom, and it seems like some of these tracks we go to, I'm the only one down there, and I'm usually pretty quick and able to have pretty good runs down there. And when no one else is down there, I'm able to stay out of trouble pretty easily too. So that can add up if you're running consistently up front and you're staying out of trouble. You're keeping your incidents down. That's what gets you championships.
Zach, you got any questions for Blake real quick?
Well, Blake, not to tarnish the championship here, but to go to the race a little bit, man, what was the deal? Was he just restarting in the perfect zone? I mean, he was killing you guys on the restarts. What could you have done different?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I was spinning the tires real bad. I just kind of threw a setup in there that I've never ran before. I was hoping it would work. It was more of a bottom setup because we had a lot of gear in this thing. If it was a real car, we definitely would have blown the motor up, and we were on the chip pretty much all the way around the track. So definitely probably won't run it at Volusia again. But I think we had a different setup. We might have had something for him, but he ran a clean race. He ran a good race. Congrats to him on the win. But yeah, I think coming in, I knew I had a pretty good gap on the points championship there, and with not many guys showing up, I decided to run a little something different. And if it didn't work out, and that's fine. We'll try something else out next season.
Well, when you're done here, get off your butt and dust off a spot on that shelf for another trophy, kid. You may even have to buy a new one. You're going to run out of space soon.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm kind of running out of room.
Well, before
Oh, I've seen them in pictures. I know you are.
Well, before we let you go, Blake, you know what to do. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, I got a first shout out to John Hine. Thoughts and prayers are with him, with what his daughter is going through. I think I saw a post on Facebook tonight that she got some good news there. So hope for a speedy recovery for Hine's daughter. And I got to thank the family for watching all season long. Got to thank all the guys at the Kreitz Sim Racing team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Andy at AJ Custom Creations, and of course I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You guys know they got some of the best stuff out there. You can head over to their website and use code CART, that's C-A-R-T at checkout for 15% off. And of course I got to thank my long lost cousin Zach up in the booth, and you too, Marty.
Well, congratulations on this win. Another championship for you, Blake. Go enjoy some popcorn tonight, all right?
All right, thank you guys.
So Blake Chapman is the champion in the Renegades once again for the season. Congratulations to him on a phenomenal summer, that's for sure. So, well,
I feel like Galen's Popcorn may need this year's trophy. They're going to have to put up a trophy display, all the love they get on here.
Possibly. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. They may have to. So, well, Zach, we get set to sign things off here. What a summer. And it's crazy to think about this, too. I believe, if I'm making my notes correctly here, when we go into Week 13, after Week 13, there's one more season to go on the year in 2024, and that's the fall. And there's going to be a lot of hype to that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, everybody knows it, so this isn't a slight at any of the drivers. But, man, the Summer Championship, if you ask a league veteran here, just doesn't mean as much. Lots going on in the summer. People don't make all the races. Man, when we get into fall, that's when everybody's back on the computer. And with guys like Chad and Rick going up to this A series next year, my God, Marty, it's going to be hard to win 2 races in one season next year, let alone one. It's going to be a show.
Very excited for it, that's for sure. So with that, we bid adieu here on tonight. What a night of action we had here in Coast to Coast for our season finale. Thanks for joining us on behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers, sponsors, and admins, Roger Craig and his great group of executives. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Zach Chapman, Marty Scala, saying so long for tonight. Congratulations to your winners. In Open 358's Anthony Morano, Rebels Isaac Salas, and Renegades Rick Main, and your champions for this season. Isaac Salas in Open 358's Chad Griggs in Rebels, and Blake Chapman in the Renegades. So long, everyone.